When they were advising Buhari not to come closer to China, China tendered so many options. That is dangerous. Look at what is happening in some African countries. China is running as completely now. They have taken over some of their airports. They have taken over some of their seaports. They say the agenda is to completely, re-colonize Africa. There is controversy, not properly defined. To an extent, the Ogun State government was also involved in the racket, and on that process, there was a court judgment. You understand what I mean? There was a court judgment. And what is the meaning of that? What it tells you that, that court judgment is based on legality. Those countries, it's happening in France. Those countries you are saying, are civilized nations, are civilized countries that has to do, that understand civility and democracy. Countries that operate based on federal system. You know what I mean by federal system? If you go to places like France, you have geopolitical zones, federating units, subnationals, which also being governed by the international law. So those subnationals, like in Ogun State, they went and got involved in a deal that the federal government is supposed to pay. And that is what they're saying now. Unfortunately, an international mess came up as a result of that, and the court pronounced that judgment that 100 million is at stake. The Chinese, one of the things that Chinese want is that you cannot blame the Chinese, because I remember as a 1960, Chinese nation, let me put it that way, was at the same par with Nigeria immediately after the same independence.
We are on the same level.
We are on the same level. Just imagine what happened. Singapore was the least. Malaysia was the least in that arrangement. So you cannot take that away. But look at it today. China has become the strongest commercialized nation in the world. Do you know what I mean by commercialization? The power of commercialization, you understand, is what they are extending to African continent. And Nigeria happens to be a victim of it. And once they become the victim of it, they have to go with the consequences of it. And what is the consequences of it? That is what is playing out now. If it is not possible, they are going to buy complete Apapa war. Mortgage everything in Nigeria. When they were advising Buhari not to come closer to China, China tendered so many options. That is dangerous. Look at what is happening in some African countries. China is running as completely now. They have taken over some of their airports. They have taken over some of their seaports. They say the agenda is to completely, re-colonize Africa, and they're using it. And they're doing it perfectly with China, with Russia.
They're getting there.
And that is why you see during the protest, the Northerners were flying Russian flag. The Chinese are behind it. But the consequences of embracing a communist setting in Africa has a direct consequences on the future of Africa. Coming closer to that, define a moment that China deals. Buhari got himself involved, or Tinubu is trying to get himself involved. They have seen the consequences. That this has become an international embarrassment. That a presidential jet is being confiscated in a foreign land for getting involved in a corrupt process. Nigeria is a corrupt nation. They got involved in a corrupt process. So currently now, if care is not taken, China is going to make mess of that arrangement and continue to use it. They're going to use that particular issue, to target another national asset at the end of the day. They will capitalize on it. So the twist, is playing around the man called Nigeria. If Nigeria is to be a man, not as an entity, how can you look at that kind of man? You know, how can you be able to, assuming Nigeria is not a country where with 200 million people, that Nigeria is a man. Look at that, a man. That's Nigeria, a man. Bros, there will be, bros, let me tell you, in honest truth, you know, there will be no proposal. The man would have lived in isolation for the rest of his life. So the embarrassment is too much to an extent, you know, the president have to hide his face. But how are we going to do that? After more and more is coming. They're already targeting to buy up Apapa Wharf, the Chinese company. They have a lot of assets. By the time we mortgage these things, you know, Nigeria will definitely become a slave. But I don't think that's going to be possible if care is not taken. It's already happening. We have billions of loans credited to China that Nigeria cannot pay. They are running away from capitalism and they are moving closer to communism. They are moving closer to welfareism. What is welfareism? Welfareism means that government owns everything. That is why they want to bring that law from the House of Representatives, where everything will be. That is a communism in another form. Because the government would have owned, including human beings and their wives and their children, will be owned by the government. And that's the kind of concept, political theory, you know, Nigerian Arab nations, countries, most are pushing Nigeria towards. So how that is going to play out at the end of the day becomes something Nigeria needs to be worried about.
So now, do you think Nigeria will have to now settle them for that case to be closed?
It's not a matter of settlement. It's not a matter of settlement. Everything has already gone through a legal process. The matter has been decided in the court, you know, and the court has made pronouncement. You know, so what they are going to face, you know, is an international law. If they say that Nigeria does not understand what it means when you disobey, you know, international community or international law, you know, this is not Nigeria. You can disobey anything. Nigeria can decide to go any direction they choose, as long as they can manipulate the judiciary, they can manipulate the INEC, they can manipulate the police, they can manipulate the army. They decide what happens, not based on law, but based on interest. So, in that setting now we are seeing, you know, they don't have any option. They are going to pay it because they will obey the law, because they have already been placed on $100 million fine to start with. That's my take. We've been living for years, since after the war, even before the war. Igbos and Yoruba, they have never fought themselves. In Ondo State today, I tell you, the people that cultivate the land of Ondo State are the Igbos. Go and investigate. We expected this apology since. Anyway, Yoruba cultural group Afenifere has come out to denounce that statement. They distance themselves from that Twitter or TikToker or blogger who threatened the Igbos. And again, without these ages, this group that has just come, you know, and apologized to Igbos, yes, it's a welcome idea. They are peace-loving platform. And likewise, the Igbos are peace-loving people. Notwithstanding, we live everywhere all over the world. And we did not beg anybody in Africa country like Kenya, Zambia, Gambia, Angola. We dominate everywhere. Those countries, we did not beg them to stay. The fact that we stay there and we are doing well is because of our handworks, the kind of person who we are. The Igbos are Republican. They can come mix up with you. They won't steal from you. They won't kill you. They will develop your area. They will bring investments. They are investors. They are businessmen. So even this group that is saying that Igbo has right to live everywhere, they are a good group. They Yoruba. Yoruba has rights to live everywhere. Yorubas are in Umuahia community. That's where they dominated in the southeastern Nigeria. Yorubas are in River State, Port Harcourt. They are largely there in Port Harcourt, doing their normal business. They have right to live everywhere too. So everybody, the only people that I find I fault in Nigeria are the Fulanis. The Fulanis, who are strangers from Sahel countries, are constituting nuisance, serious menace to Nigerians. They migrated from Mali, Chad, Burkina Faso, Niger, Senegal, Gambia. They migrated from these countries into Nigeria, and today they are thorns on our flesh. So those are the people that I find out are not law-abiding. They are not coexisting with all their hosts. Their host nations. Fulanis are not coexisting with them because they are not faithful people. They are not peaceful people. All they do is come to your community, stay with you within a short period, overcome you, suppress you, marginalize you, instill emirates, become emir in your own community. Emir is just like king, only that is attached to their religion, Islam. They will rule you. I've never seen an Igbo man come to Lagos, suppress Igbo man with all Igbo man's investment. Yet there was never a time tussling for Obership between Igbo and the Yoruba. Igbo and the Yoruba, nothing like that. SND Igbo is for SND Igbo, is for the business Igbo men. SND Igbo is not for Alausa or Ikeja or Papa. When we are talking about SND Igbo, it's a platform holding the whole Igbos. If you have issue, if you need help, you can go to SND Igbo or Azulike at the axis of Abulegba. SND Igbo of Lagos or Azulike will help you. He's not saying I'm SND Igbo, I'm Eze Yoruba, I'm SND Yoruba. No, Eze, king for my people, king of my people, king to benefit my people. That's what Igbos do. There is a session whereby we've been coexisting with our Yoruba brothers, living and intermarrying. Myself, talking to my senior brother, married from Ilache. Ilache is in Egbado South, I think, local government of Ogun State. Yes. He come to my community. He live with my people. He gave birth to many children for my brother. We live together today. Imagine where Anambra is, an Ogun State woman, and Anago in short. Anago, they are Yoruba, they speak Anago. She lived with us. Nobody threatened her. Why should you threaten? Even Yorubas that are serving their youth corps, NYSC, in Igbo land. I would like this blogger go and meet these people, interview them whom the Igbo man are, where they serve in various communities in Igbo land. How did they treat them? What kind of hospitality did he benefit or receive in Igbo land? I think his eardrum, his tympanic membrane will burst, because such youth corpers will educate him on the reason why Igbos are the most traveled tribe in the world. Because they will treat you good. The person where you are living in his house, he will take you as his children. Listen, let me tell you, Igbos, they don't play with strangers. And I want to tell you that I've been traveling and traveling. I've never seen a landlord that has taken me at his son in Yoruba land, and I still respect them, I greet them, I pay my dues. It is when you want to marginalize me again, if you start playing side, if there are issues in the yard, that is when I'll come out and tell you, say no. No, madam, or no, mama, or no, papa. So I'm telling you that it is lack of education that makes a man to wake up and give Igbos quick notice. It is lack of travel that makes a man to wake up and say, Igbo must leave my place. Exposure. Lack of education. Exposure. that will make a man wake up early in the morning and say Igbo must leave him. It is lack of what? Understanding and wisdom. Lack of hard work.
Hatred.
Industriousness. It is because of hatred. It is because of unnecessary jealousy that makes a man wake up and say Igbo should leave him. It is because of what? Act of tribalism, ethnic bigotry, that will make a man wake up and say, Igbo, you are going to go, live here. See, let me tell you, we've been living for years, since after the war, even before the war, Igbos and Yoruba, they have never fought themselves. In Ondo State today, I tell you, the people that cultivate the land of Ondo State are the Igbos. Go and investigate. Igbos are many, there are too many. There are farmers in Ondo land. Igbos are farmers in Akure. If you want to know what I'm telling you, visit Oba Adeyemi Adechida compound in Akure. Adeyemi Adechida will tell you that Igbos are the best in Akure land because they cultivate in their land, they grow cocoa farm, they grow catch crops, they grow everything cultivatable in Ondo land, and they have never killed anybody. They have never stirred up any misunderstanding between the two tribes. So anybody that wakes up, it is only in this Tinubu regime that Yoruba man wake up and say Igbo man will go. So let me tell you, Tinubu regime is the one that will bring that blogger to book. I mean Tinubu administrations, all concerned appropriate departments, agencies of the law. They should bring the blogger, they should bring the Twitter, the person that tweeted on his ex that Igbo should go. They should bring him to book. Because if the government, this government of the day, under Tinubu and Onogoruwa, Tinubu's spokesperson that has been threatening Igbo over the years, if Ononuga, if Ononuga knows that he's not responsible for that Twitter, if he knows that he's not supporting that Twitter, if he knows he's not the one that sent that Twitter, that blogger to cause commotion between Igbo and the Yoruba in Southwest, Ononuga should come and resign or tender his apology to the Igbos. No man is island and we don't fear anybody, because if you go to Anambra, if you go to Imo, if you go to Abia, Yorubas are there. We have never ever threatened Yoruba. Okay, in my compound as of 1982 as a small boy, a Yoruba man for the first time came to our village. They were looking at him. They all attended him. The man came with camera. The man was into video coverage. There was an important funeral in my town in the year 1982. He came. We welcomed him. He came to my compound. My brother lived all his life in Lagos State. My senior brother. He brought him. We dined and ate together. So, lack of exposure, lack of education. Traveling is an education. I've been warning people. Don't tell me that you are a professor. Don't tell me that you went to UIO. If you did not travel, you are a mumu. Oga, don't tell me that I read English language. I can speak well. My name is Femi Kayode. I can criticize anybody. Oga Femi Kayode. If you don't travel, you are a mumu. I know it will get to you on your Twitter. Right? Let me challenge you. Mugu. Because you don't travel. That's why you can come and talk nonsense. People that are devoid of travel, people that have not traveled far are Mugu. Oga, the best education one could get in life is travel, mix up with other people. Travel and see the different climb. Travel, cross Onitsha Bridge, come to Igbo land, challenge me. Oga, you will go with corn, you will go with yam, you will go with plantain, I will give you. Travel to Abia State, challenge the Abia man. Oga, you will go with Oba, you will eat off where you will eat. Abia no le offer manu enele, a channel where they offer manu. Who do make travel be an Igbo na funny? Make una travel go Igbo land and eat food. Every time the Igbo man will go. Now hungry man they say make him neighbor, make him brother go. Because of the food we go give him neighbor. Oga, anybody will say Igbo must go. Oga, that person they hunger. It is say as we dey here, we go join and they eat food when they eat. If you get enough food, you will like to allow strangers to be with you because we feed them. And when we are feeding strangers, we are happy. Come to my community. Anytime we like feeding strangers and we make feasts with strangers, we enjoy, we dine, and we marry together. It brings joy. That is what makes Abraham, because He entertained stranger, not knowing that he was entertaining God. People from God. That's whom we are.